Why do people feel more restless in a time with more option, comfort, and convenience than ever before?
Because we suck at making decisions.
I feel like it's because it's just like when some people say they want freedom, it's like if we actually give you that freedom, would you know what to do with it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspire Minds, our podcast, a space for mindful and thoughtful conversations, including those topics that are overlooked, misunderstood, and uncomfortable. Yet they are deeply relevant to how we live, how we think, and the entire society. So you want to stay tuned because this one is going to be great, definitely. So I'm Jamin and I'll be your host for today. I'm joined by an incredible guest, Marvelous, and I'll give him the room to introduce himself to you guys shortly. So thank you for being here, Marvelous.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much. This is awesome. I love it. We've been laughing already and joking.
Your
Jermaine,
smile is going to make this very,
Jermaine,
very
you are the man with the plan. My name is Marvelous. You have to ask my parents why, but I love God and love people. And right now, what I get to do is I really get to part my life in ministry. And then I also do get to part my life in terms of media and all creative outlets that I can do. And so I want to get to a place where I can reduce my introduction to just my name.
Wow.
Like I'm just marvelous.
Yeah.
And then everything else can just be like
you're
stuff
made in the
people
image of
find
God,
out.
so you're marvelous.
Amen. Amen. I can receive that. That is good. Yeah.
So the topic of today's conversation is the science of happiness, how to create a fulfilling life.
Okay.
It's like happiness is a very like I don't know. It's
a
it's
very
what
interesting word.
it's
Yeah.
what most of us as humans strive for.
Mm.
So the entire segment is six segments, each with its questions.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Let's go into it.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
So
yeah,
the first
yeah.
one is about biology and belief.
Yeah.
Just like how humans like born happy or it's our beliefs. So I'll go to the first question.
Yep.
How much of happiness comes from how we are wired, and how much comes from how we live?
That is very good. I think
Because it's just like
yeah.
because some people seem more happier than others,
Yeah.
even when their life is not easier.
Yeah. I think happiness is what we call it, but I think joy is what we're striving for.
Okay.
I think when you have joy, I think happiness can be a byproduct even in uncomfortable circumstances. Like, I'm Congolese, and so sometimes I go back home and not everything about Congo is necessarily in a bad state, but there are some areas and some stories that are bad. But for some strange reason, everyone seems to be happy. But I think it's just, and I'm like, my mind goes, you shouldn't be happy because there's nothing happening here that is happy. But I think beyond that, I think they've maybe mastered the idea of joy. And then I think the joy has kind of informed happiness.
Okay.
But I do think that things that happen to us can either make us happy or not happy.
So it's not how we are wired; it's our beliefs.
I definitely think that's a very interesting thing. I think we're definitely it's about how you think about life. Let me say, maybe belief is the right word.
Because
Like
50 Cent said, some people know how to live better than others with or without money. So I do think it boils down to our belief, not how we're wired, really.
yeah, I don't think someone is wired to not be happy. I think it's just about belief. And I think 50 is on point there because some people are genuinely good with money, without money, with house, with no house, or however. And some people just find a way to make it work. My plan is to get there as well.
It took me a while to put that into perspective because I've been on both sides of the fence. Like, some people know how to. It's just like, I feel like it's tough because when you have, because I don't know how to put it in a way like, happiness is it like you need to have something to be happy or you just need to find a reason to be happy?
Yeah, and I think that's a good one. I was reading actually something it was around like relationships and stuff like that, and it said don't look it was in the world of spouses and couples. It was saying don't look to your person to make you happy. You need to be fine. You know what I mean? Like you need to be your happiness comes from you,
Yeah.
and from God and however. And so I think that was something I really enjoyed thinking about, because sometimes we like leaving the responsibility of happiness to someone else.
Yeah.
Whereas in like, no, I actually need to be intentional about that. I need to be responsible over my own personal happiness. Because if I can't excite myself, that's a lot of weight to put on someone else who doesn't even understand my dynamics and my own personal complexities to actually carry. So I do think like it is something you can build within yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go to the question two now. When you hear the word happiness, what do you think most people misunderstand about it?
That it's this, I think what people most understand about happiness is, thank you, is because we've made happiness to feel like a place you arrive,
Oh, I see.
whereas in
An ongoing something.
it's an ongoing place you actually need to be intentional about.
Oh,
So a lot of people live sad because they are waiting for the feeling of happiness. And that's why sometimes you'll get people who get to the highest level of life or the highest level of success, and they'll always be there and say, actually,
Elon Musk actually tweeted something. What did he
Like-
say recently? It was like the person that said happiness, money does not buy happiness. He was right.
yeah,
So, I just think like it's a fleeting emotion. Like,
yeah.
and most people they sometimes forget that, which is true.
And that's the thing. It's a chemistry. And that's why I personally opt for the word joy rather than happiness. Because happiness is something that happens, whatever happens to me either makes me happy or sad. But joy is something that comes from within me. And I think that's made me happier, just being like, oh, some stuff can happen to me. I'm not going to be happy. And there are some stuff like today I can wake up at 9 a.m. and I'm happy. And at 15 past 9, all of a sudden there's nothing giving me reason to be happy. Does that mean that the day is gone? Does that mean like something is bad? I just think, well, it's just the chemistry of biology.
We'll get to the story about this as we go on.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go to question two now. At what point did you realize happiness wasn't about constant positivity?
When I was frustrated as into like, why is it that this person can be happy with this and then that person cannot be happy? And then I was just like, why is it that I had everything at the time going for me? There was nothing really bad, but why did I not feel happy?
Okay.
And the understanding came, was like, okay, maybe I'm looking for something that probably might not exist. Well, exist the way we've made it exist.
Okay.
Like, happiness exists. Please don't get me wrong. Please strive to be in happy places and happy spaces. But maybe I was looking for it in a framework that doesn't exist. Maybe,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, some people have this idea that we're going to have this euphoric feeling from 9 a.m. to midnight, where no, things happen to us and our body and our life and our brain responds to things in such a way that will make us sad.
Yeah.
Make us
It's
happy.
like when things are okay, anyone can choose to be in a great mood.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like when there is uncertainty, like you're bored, there's no excitement, you have to look for happiness in those moments. And that's the moments where you really need to create your own happiness for yourself. Those moments where you don't see any reason to be happy, but you just have to look for it somewhere.
Yeah, because it's there.
Yeah,
Because
it's
what
there.
we're not going to do is live sad.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of like, I'm just going to live here. I'm a fan of if something does make you unhappy, acknowledge it, process it,
Yeah.
and let it go. And I'm also a fan, like, not every day is also going to be the best day.
Sure.
But it does not make me an unhappy person. And so I think also, to go back to your one thing, I think something that has helped me, that I've had to unlearn and I'm learning, is if I have a bad moment or an unhappy moment, it does not mean I'm unhappy. Or if I'm when I'm in a relationship, if I'm having an unhappy moment, does not mean, okay, cool, now it's the end of this, or with friendship or whatever. But it just means, there's something had happened to me, and how I respond to that can either be, okay, cool,
Yeah.
I'll choose to find it,
Your
or
perspective on.
Yeah. yeah.
So I'll go to the next one. Why do you think happiness is treated like a finish line instead of something ongoing?
That's, I think, because of our language.
Because of our language.
Yeah, I think we've made it sound like, when I get this, I'll be happy. Or this is what happiness looks like.
Okay.
Or like, and so sometimes we like you're like, okay, cool. It looks like happiness is a place, or happiness is a finish line. You know what I mean? It can be, there are places that can make me happy, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh, this is what the ultimate sign of happiness looks like. And I think we do see it in like tweets and stuff like, because there are people who get there and they realize, oh, this is, you know what I mean? Like, this is not it.
Yeah, it's
like,
not it.
like I've had moments where I'm like, oh, now I'll be happy. And it's like, then like the day after, you're like, well, what happens now? Or like a moment after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But coming to this podcast made me happy.
I'm going to read something for you. You know, Nava is an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and no, never. Yeah.
So I'm going to say exactly the way he said it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was on the Modern Wisdom podcast.
Yeah.
And he said a guy that I met in Thailand a long time ago, he used to work for Tony Robbins. We were sitting around and he said, I realized one day that someone out there had to be the happiest person in the world. Like, that person just had to exist. Why not me? I would take on that burden. I would be that guy. So when you say is the language, just exactly what this guy said is like, there's someone out there. You just like this. I just want to be the happiest person on earth, and he
Yeah.
just choose that. So
Yeah. I mean, there are people who are generally wired to be like, maybe not, let me say not generally wired, but they have such a perspective of life that they always look like they're just always happy. I do like those type of people, because I'd rather be on that side of life than with
rather
people
be
who are
opposite,
not like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? But I think the problem then becomes is, what makes me happy and what makes you happy, Jermaine, is two different things.
Sure.
So you can't look at me and say, oh, he looks happy. Whatever Marv is doing, I'm going to do that. You'll miss whatever,
sure,
you know,
we're
an
running-
opportunity for
yeah.
you. And so I think that's the problem. We've looked at what may look like happiness, but is it really? You know what I mean? According to you and stuff. So I think it is what makes you happy. Okay, fine. Like, figure that out. Instead of like looking at things and people and places, and you might never get there. And then what? Like, are you just gonna, does that mean your life was just destined to be sad?
So we'll be an old man with resentment.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you just, and you're gonna end your whole day with just anger, resentment, and like, oh yeah, that's not a place to be. I don't think so.
All right, let's go to segment 2. This will be very interesting. The pleasure trap.
Okay, cool.
So first one, why do people keep raising the bar for happiness instead of enjoying where they are going or where they are?
That's such a good question. I think what my brain goes to is, as humans, there's a need for more. We always want more. Like, I don't think anyone ever has enough. Like, no one ever said, you know what? I think this is enough for me. When you get there, you're like, I probably want more. I think there's a fascination with the human body that says, hey, I just want more the whole time. I don't think that all of it is always bad, but there comes a time when we actually have to introspect and ask a better question. Like, what do I want when there's more? Like, when more happiness.
Just like choosing what's best for the happiest version of yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes I think being content brings so much happiness. Like, being content brings like, it's like, oh, I'm here right now.
In my head, I'm not thinking about happiness. I'm thinking about peace. When I think about contentment, I just bring it together with peace instead of happiness.
Yeah, and I think like, for instance, if I'm peaceful, I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think sometimes if we can be content, we can be happy, because we've now actually adjusted maybe our expectation or adjusted our
Yeah.
perspective and said, oh, you know what? I'm actually really doing well.
That's true.
You know, okay, that could be awesome. And so I think even biblically, even scientifically now, they do say like gratitude is such a good way to start your day.
Just like waking up today is going to be a great day.
Yeah, today's going to be a great day. Thank you that I have socks. Like I've started saying, there was this one time someone was saying like he says thank you for all the years of his life. So if he's 26, he'll say thank you for 26 things. I'm 28, so I'll say 28 things. Eventually you run out of things to say. So to finish it, I start thanking God for like random things.
Yeah.
Like socks. Thank you that I have 2 pairs and not 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you actually find yourself in such a place where you're like, oh, you know what? There's enough reason for me to be happy right here, because I often tell God, I say, thank you for an assorted choice of food.
That's a good one.
Because there's so many people that just have one meal for the day. And I say, thank you that I can open my cupboard. There's a variety of things for me to choose from. Like, you know, and so I think when I can look at that world and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden my emotions change. My mind shifts, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, thank you. And all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, happy. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's play some music.
All right. I'll go to the second one now. Is chasing happiness directly the reason many people feel unhappy?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because I had a crazy, like, should I say crazy, like a crazy realization, and a very crazy irony is like chasing happiness leads to sacrificing happiness.
Oh, that's a fact, bro, Jermaine. Whatever you do to ask questions, the whole world needs to find that out.
Because after this realization, I was just thinking, just like, I don't know if it's a coincidence. Then I was watching Chris Williams. Then he said one of his trap cards is like, we sacrifice happiness for the things that is supposed to get it.
Yeah, look, I do think again it goes down to language, because we've made it like this chasing thing, like I'm chasing happiness, but we've never defined it. So if you're chasing something,
So how would you define it? The language, like let's take the language and how would you define it?
exactly. So I think the first problem would be define what happiness is personally. For me right now, it would be, okay, cool. It might not be a thing. It might be the person I want to be. So right now for me, it's the person I want to be that makes me happy. I want to be someone when it's stressful, when life is quite hard, I remain level-headed and ability to make. The ability to make decision. And when I'm at that place, I feel happy about myself. You know, I'm at the place where I'm trying to be more punctual. So to be funny enough, like when I get to places, like 5 minutes early, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm actually happy because I've actually defined what happiness would look like for me, either in the season or whatnot, or this moment. But I think a lot of the times, and maybe my perspective might change, but I think sometimes we chase this happiness, but we haven't defined it. Like,
So that's where we should all start from.
yeah, like I think define, okay, cool, what is happy? Like people sometimes say, I just need to get out of a situation. Okay, and then what? Like, what does getting out of the situation look like? So that's why I can say it like this, because I'm in that process. I've had to be like, because it's always, yeah, get out, get the bag. Okay, but what bag? What's the bag for me?
What's inside?
What, you know what I mean? Like what's inside? Because there's been so many things I've maybe done, but I was like, oh, this sucks. Like I didn't think this would be it, but it's just because I was chasing something I couldn't define. And then I think that becomes dangerous because you're trying to throw a dart with no aim. It's just like, I'm just going. Essentially what I'm trying to say is, I think when we do live a purposeful life, because when you live with purpose, you can quickly define things.
Okay.
I think happiness would be much, much better understood if we had a framework of what am I looking for, like in the season. Like when I said like being early for me right now is just awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
Let me go to the next one. Why does the excitement of getting what we want fade faster than we expect after it finally happens?
Bro, you are the best question asker.
Thank you for that.
I think it's because, and I don't have all the answers, dare I say. Like, I think it's because we are expecting this, like,
Dopamine hit or what?
yeah, like, oh, this, when I get this, I'm going to be happy for the next 45 years of my life.
That's a long time.
You know what I mean? But it's actually not that. I think it has to probably do with our mind and our biology. It's like when we get it, it's like, oh, I got it. And now you need that, like, and now what? And I think that's what keeps people getting more, because they're looking for that another hit, another hit. Whereas in, like, if I'm living in a constant understanding of joy, I can aim for things that make me happy, but I know that's not where it begins and that's not where it ends.
That's a good one there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Making me feel great.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like,
because it's where it begins, not where it ends. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it can be there. Like, if I'm living in a different constant mindset of like, okay, cool, joy is something I choose right across a goal, I think then it would be like, okay, cool. So when I do have 500,000, that's not where my happiness begins. That's a good moment, can make me happy,
Sure.
but that's also not the moment that will kill my happiness. Like, yeah, I think that's awesome.
All right, let's jump right to the next one. Why do things that feel great in the moment really make us feel fulfilled afterwards?
I think because you earned it. Like, I think you got to somewhere and you're like, this is awesome. And I think it's important to have those things to even get even a hit of happiness, during the day.
So I'm talking about pleasure now.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So because most people, they feel sad and they just want a quick dopamine. That there are various ways. One of the most common way to get it is pleasures. So why is it like it fades immediately after getting, like, immediately? It's like there was no reason in it. Like, why did I do this stuff?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. I think because we the society, the world, or whichever aspect you want to look at it from, has really done a great job in terms of saying this will make you happy or this will not make you happy. And a lot of people strive to do that or to get there or to be there, and it's actually not what makes you happy. Even when you get that thing that you wanted to get and you realize this is not what I'm looking for, or this is not what I'm looking for. So we have people jumping from pleasure to pleasure to pleasure, looking to fill a void that's actually not being fulfilled, and so a lot of people are going to jump from pleasure to pleasure to pleasure. Yeah, you're going to get a dopamine hit, but that doesn't necessarily mean now that, hey, that's going to fill the emptiness that a lot of people are actually feeling. Okay. So there's a lot of internal realities that people are feeling, but they're using happiness or pleasure to fill it
for a moment,
and then they realize, oh, this is actually not it. No, yeah, it's not. This is not sustainable at all. It's like the thought I'm thinking is like, let's say for instance, I'm thirsty. Yeah. Now, if I'm thirsty, like Coke, Fanta, all these good things like Coca-Cola, Fanta, and all these good things will do what it needs to do. But it really won't fulfill me. Like, when you get that, like you need water, and it's just like, dude, I can drink anything that will taste good.
But you still need water.
I still need water. And I think that's an interesting way of saying, like, sometimes people actually are looking for water, but we're finding ourselves in things that taste good, and that we can, let's call those pleasures. It's like, cool, I'll just get this. It tastes nice. So, yeah.
All right, so segment 3, it's meaning over mood. Oof. So the first question is, why do people often feel more fulfilled after doing something difficult than something easy? Just like Just like I wake up in the morning and I decide to jog for like 2 hours, I'll feel more fulfilled like crazy
Yes.
instead of me jogging for 30
Yeah.
because 2 hours is more hard. So why is it I will get more fulfillment from doing something that's difficult compared to something that's easier?
Yeah, I think there's something about difficult things, man, that when you conquer it, you just feel like a champion. Like, because for me, it's maybe one aspect is because I can become very competitive. So it's almost like if you tell me, when I wake up, Marv, you will not be able to do that 5 kilometers. And I run that 5 kilometers, knowing that I possibly couldn't. But when you get there, it's almost this awesome thing, feeling like, oh, I beat that. That means I can do something else. It makes me feel so awesome. It makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel like, okay, cool. I have everything that it takes to be able to conquer this. You know what I mean? It's like, it gives me, well, I can speak for myself. It gives me such like conquering,
It gives confidence.
yeah, like feeling. Like I've had some difficult situations, and sometimes it feels like, am I ever gonna come out of this? Or you know what I mean? Or like, especially when you're running, like sometimes running, you're like, is this ever going to finish? But when you get to the end, it's almost like, guys, like it's almost like you are like, yeah, I got it. Like
Yeah.
I'm done.
You feel relieved in a certain.
Yeah, like, because I think it takes you from this one place of just like where you like, this was never happen.
Yeah, I never saw this coming.
But then it happens and it's like, okay, cool. It gives you like such like an injection of like fulfillment or joy, or like, yeah, let's go again. Let's do something else. And so I think when we do the difficult things,
Yeah.
we often get surprised as into how much we actually know
Like,
that we
know
can
there is
carry.
more for us to tap
Yeah,
into.
like you can go into something. You can beat the difficult situation. You know what I mean? Like,
And then it correlates into other things in your life because you'll be like, I was able to do that thing there, so it's possible for me to do this one as well.
definitely. Yeah, like that's how I think sometimes. Like, I don't advise this, but like there was one time I was thinking of running like a 30K, but my whole reasoning to do a 30K was because I was like, oh, I've ran a 10K. You know what I mean? But I needed to train. But my whole reasoning was like, oh, if I can do 10, that means I can do another 10, and then I can do another 10. So I looked at it as in increments of things I can
10.
actually do. I didn't look at it as like 30. I looked at it as in like, oh, I've done 10. So that means I can do another 10 and I can do another 10. But please do train, bro. But like, but you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is like, oh, my only reason my brain went to I can do it is because I've done 10. And so I do think like when we can do something, it gives me strength and the ability to say like, you know what? If I can do it here, then I'll beat this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So question 2, it's what role does responsibility and accountability play in the long term of happiness?
Oh, brilliant. I love this question because it's something I'm learning.
Oh.
For some weird reason, I always feel like, or I always felt like my happiness is based on someone else. It's someone else's responsibility. And I'm quickly learning that humans, where we don't like the term responsibility, is like a swear word. Responsibility or accountability, or even the term ownership, like to be able to say, I am responsible for how I feel, for what I say, for where I'm at, for what I do, is much harder than saying, no, you're responsible for making me feel happy. So we would rather say, no, all of these other things have to make me happy, because it's easier to do that. It's easier
to point a finger.
Yeah, it's easier to point a finger. It's easier to delegate that responsibility. Whereas it takes ownership. It takes intention. And I think that's where discipline is built. It's when you understand, oh, I am responsible for this. If I do not do this, I cannot expect someone else to do this. You know what I mean? But it takes learning to do that. And it's can become a bit toxic, a bit selfish, because you are saying, no, you carry the weight of how I feel, or this has to carry the weight of how I feel.
Yeah.
That's a
Makes
very dangerous place to be, because
You're taking the control from yourself now, like you're
Exactly.
giving it to external
yes,
forces.
and they don't also understand what's actually necessary. And so I think it takes responsibility. And what's responsibility? It's your responsibility is your ability to respond.
Responsibility is your ability to
To
respond.
respond. Yeah, like,
Oh,
and so if you don't have the ability to respond to whatever happens in and around you, then you're maybe not a responsible person. You're a reactive person,
okay.
because you react to everything. So I'll find myself unstable. So I'll wake up one day and I can never be stable, because everything,
You're reacting.
I'm reacting. I'm not actually taking a moment
Yeah,
to breathe,
process and
process, and then take control of whatever's happening.
okay.
Yeah.
So the third question: is there a difference between a happy life and a meaningful one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm on the side of I'd rather live a meaningful life than a happy
Are you
life,
serious?
because I think what gives me meaning makes me happy.
Oh,
I'd-
okay.
And I don't. So when I can do something meaningful, I can beat unhappy moments, but ultimately it makes me so happy. Like doing what I do, like serving the Lord, serving the people. Like, what else do I do? Like these type of things, or even when I have random conversations with people. Like there are sometimes when I'm tired. It's not making me happy to have this conversation, but I often leave feeling so like awesome,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, like,
It's like your
This
wife
is-
for doing that stuff is more
Yeah.
powerful.
and Simon Sinek wrote an awesome book called The Power of Why. No, not The Power
Starts
of
with
Why.
why.
Yeah, it starts with why,
Yeah.
and it's behind The Power of Why.
Yeah.
That some things, like when you can actually define stuff and understand why, so many more things will actually come into perspective. Like, and I think it even helps when you beat the difficult.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, why
should
am I doing this? Why? Like, and I think that even helps like difficult moments, because sometimes we can't beat the difficult moments. It's because we're like, oh no, this is maybe
I think
not
those
making me
moments
happy.
we
like-
forget our why.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's not making me happy, but it's no, this is super meaningful. I'm going through a bit of a moment, but this is meaningful. You know what I mean? And so when I live a meaningful life, it makes me happy. And well, it happened for me when I looked at what other people found to be happy. And then I was like, well, there has to be a bit more to life than that. Like, I'll just be honest and say it here. Like, coming out of high school and doing all of what I was doing, I genuinely, like, I was like, guys, when I get my Rolex, I'm a watch dude. May no one look at me. All right. Like, don't even look my direction. I will be blossoming. My smile will be here.
Your smile is doing that.
You
right
know what
now.
I mean? Like, because I do like the watch, but even in fact, my taste of watch has completely changed. But I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna be happy. But then I remember thinking, but then what?
Goodness.
What's next? Like, is my whole life just to get a piece of metal with glass that looks very beautiful? Or is there more to life? And so I started chasing meaning, and I really understood that, oh, you know what? This is a better thing for me to chase than a boost of energy. Because that's what that's what happiness is for me. It's like a boost of energy in my biological system.
All right.
You know, yeah. So yeah.
So what is the fourth one now? When you look back, have you gotten more meaning and fulfillment from moments you have done something you enjoyed or commitment you stayed loyal to?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. There's been so many times I wanted to quit different things just because it got so much harder. But I do think when you look back, I'm always thankful that I'm like, oh, you know what? I beat this moment. Like, and I find myself smiling, and I find myself like doing all types of weird things. Like right now, like I'm like smiling because like I'm thinking of some stuff where I'm like, oh, you know what? I beat this moment. I never thought I would, but like I beat it, you know? And so I think there's such a joy when I look back and committing to something, which is something that we've lost, and something that I'm also learning. And I think it's infused with this language of happiness. We fail to commit to things because we are chasing this undefined happiness. When we actually hear, hey, there's some stuff, if we stayed long enough, it might actually be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this podcast, just speaking to you guys before this, and when you guys started, the first episode you said was like, to get to what you guys, the views that you guys have now, took longer.
Right.
But that the fulfillment of seeing Sam smile and everyone smile is because you looked back and you guys, we pushed through a couple of episodes, and what we were doing then and what we're doing now, it's not the same. And even the happiness changes and it grows. But I think it's because you stayed committed to something meaningful, something you believed in, a vision, something that you are willing to give your all for. And you pushed through the 50 views and 10 views and 100 views. And now you're in the other hundreds. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, guys, it was worth it. All those episodes mattered. And so I do think there's a joy and there's a happiness of staying committed to something, instead of just at the first sign of difficulty, at the first sign of unhappiness, we give up. So yeah.
I think most people are stuck in that kind of a loop. Just like I have a friend is doing something and that thing is giving him money. So
Yeah.
I would leave what I'm doing now. I'll go try what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'll face a difficult point, because when most people tell you something they are doing, they won't tell you the difficult part.
Yeah, they don't.
So now you would face the difficulty, then you will go to another thing, and then you just be in that first cycle of just trying and failing, then you go to another one, trying and failing. Instead of it to just stick with one, then after that difficult phase, then you figure out why that thing actually works, and then it becomes easy.
Yeah, and I think someone also said this, and it will even answer that question about like responsibility. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that has helped me more than that saying, because sometimes you always like, I need to go somewhere greener. And there are times where you need to, let's just be honest.
Yeah, true.
But there are also,
you would know, definitely.
Yeah, like you will like, but then there's something about me that is excited about responsibilities. Like, okay, cool, I'm going to give a try here. Let me water it. Let me do this. And I've seen so many things blossom because I actually just took some responsibility. I watered my garden. I made it look awesome. And then, and now it's actually a great place to be. I'm so happy now that I get to take care of this stuff. Yeah.
So segment 4 now, relationship and connection.
Oh, there you go.
Why do relationships seem to support long-term happiness more reliably than money or success? And does this hold true for everyone?
That's such a good question. I'm going to throw you with this water if you ask me another great question. I think, so wait, let me just get the question right. So you're saying that relationships and connection...
Relationships, like, it's more reliable for happiness long-term compared to money or success.
Yeah, man. I think humans, we were built for relationships, man.
For connection.
We were built for that thing. Like, I don't care how many billions you have. If you're alone, that makes no sense. My brother once said something awesome. He's like, what's the point of making all this money if I have no one to spend it with? Now, as someone who loves relationships and connection and stuff like that, that hit home for me, because it's like, yeah, what's the point? If you have no friends, if you have no one you can speak to, if I have no girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, you know what I mean? Or just friends. If there's nothing outside of me, like why? Like, what are we doing this for? And because the essence of humanity, we were created for like...
We're social creatures.
Yes, we are social creatures. We were created to do this life together. Like at our church, we will drive it through to someone that, hey, we were created to do life together. I've seen the most macho of macho man to the wealthiest of wealthiest people, in my view. Like, the minute you put them around people, you just see their lives become fruitful. like, and bigger and better. And it's just like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, even biblically, it says that a cord that's crushed, a 3-stranded cord is not easily broken.
True.
When you're alone, a lot of people use that thing for marriage, that quote for marriage, but it also means like when you're alone, you're quite easily like, you can shatter any moment. But when there's a group of people around you, you do life so much
It's out
better.
from their energy as well.
Yeah, like even when I was running, when I run alone, the chances of me quitting
It's higher.
is higher.
I see.
But when I run with people, I find myself like,
Energized.
and I'm energized and I'm finished. And it's not because I couldn't run. It's not because I'm not like fit enough. It's just that the human nature somewhere, somehow requires us to actually be with people or to have connection. And we feed off, man, like all of these different conversations. You know what I mean? Like, it's a, oh, wow, okay, cool. Someone cares. Someone knows about me. I'm there around someone. And yeah, so I think it's far more like
Oh,
better.
goodness. Why do people still feel lonely even when they are around us?
It's a good conversation. I need to throw you with this thing now, this one. Loneliness is such a very difficult place to be, because sometimes you also don't want to just say, yeah, do 4 things and then you'll jump out of this loneliness, because life is a bit more complex than that. But oftentimes, especially when things happen to us, we find ourselves retrieving from things and people and stuff because we want to get into this space where it feels better being alone.
Okay.
You know, but sometimes it's just actually being understood, or just having people who know, people who care, and people who can see.
You said it.
Like, because sometimes the goal is not like, I can be around people, but no one really, I don't feel seen and I don't feel heard and I don't feel understood.
Yeah.
But when you have even a someone or people where you can feel heard, seen, and understood, I think the feeling of loneliness can begin to maybe like,
Just like you're with your tribe. So
yeah, you're with your people, like, you know what I mean? Like, and being with my people is not saying that, hey, they get me or whatever. I mean, they are like me, exactly like me or whatever. It's just saying, no, these are the people who see me, who hear me, and who understand me.
yeah, that's it.
And I think placing myself in those spaces have made lonely seasons easier. You know, like, there's often times when people say, oh, like, success is a lonely road. You know, like, or leadership can be a lonely place. And I get where they're saying it is, what they're trying to say is because sometimes you're not going to feel seen, you're not going to feel understood, and you're not going to feel heard. But what I do think is necessary is that when that arrives, put yourself in places and spaces where you do feel seen, where you do feel understood, and where you do feel heard. And then, yeah, so then you can come back into those places. So look for those people.
Just like surround yourself with people aligned with where you are going to.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't want a lot of things. I just want you to see me. I want you to hear me. I want you to understand me. Because we go through so many things in life. And when someone doesn't hear you, see you, and understand you, then that feeling of like, whoa, clearly, like, no one gets it. And then you start feeling alone and alone. So I don't think loneliness is always being alone, but I do think if you miss those 3, you can start feeling lonely.
Okay. Is happiness possible without at least one relationship where one can be fully themselves? Which is just what you said now.
Yeah.
So the answer is no.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you like, you want to be in relationships where you can be yourself. Or else it will get tiring. Like,
Because you are putting on a persona that's not you.
you know what I mean? Like, Jermaine, let me ask you the question.
Okay.
Have you, like, how awesome did you feel when you finally get to the place where you're like, I can actually be myself, like, and this person gets it. You know what I mean? Like, there's this, yeah. How did that make you feel?
It's really nice to feel seen, feel heard, and feel understood.
Yeah.
Because so many people don't. It's just like sometimes you'll be with some people and they will say you are weird and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, this is me. I'm being me. Like, what else do you want?
And I think people are looking for the safety. And I think the language I'm learning is that word safety. Is like, can I be safe here? Or can I be safe there? Can I be safe? And it's not protected from danger all the time. It's just, how do I land? You know what I mean? And so I think being in a relationship, she would often like say like, hey, if I maybe didn't understand something, she'll kindly say like, oh, there was a safer way, that I could have been.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I didn't understand it in the beginning, but what she was trying to say was, you could have understood me, you could have heard me better, you know what I mean, and you could have, can I land safely here? And
that makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes your relationship just thrive because I can be myself, and that increases the happiness. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So the fourth question for this segment is, why does belonging to something bigger than ourselves make us feel more steadier in life?
Oh, that's so good. I love that, because when we are part of something bigger than me, bigger than yourself, it removes all this like selfish consciousness out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where everything is just about you, and it puts you in such a position of service, and it puts you in such a mindset of fulfillment, because what I'm doing is so much bigger than what I could have accomplished by myself, number one. And I get to be part of something where I'm not always the main show.
Yeah.
And when that is often killed, you get to be like there's so much fulfillment in service, in being part of something that you didn't even understand, but you get to play your part, is so much awesome. Like, that's why I love what I do in terms of ministry or building church. It's so much bigger than me.
Yeah, it's bigger than all of us.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Bigger than sometimes what I can even understand. But that fulfillment of, I got to play my part, is the best thing ever. And Tupac said it awesome one time. Just quoting rappers. First he does 50 Nights Tupac. But Tupac said, I might not change the world, but I might spark the mind that does change the world. I think it's Tupac that said it.
Spark a mind that changes the world.
Yeah. So, you get, whoever does all of these needs to check if it's Tupac that said it. But someone said it, and I remember it, either Tupac said it from someone or whatever. But anyways, the point is that they said, I might not change the world, but I might spark the mind that does.
Yeah.
It's so fulfilling to say, you know what? I'm so invested in the bigger picture that I'm willing to play my part at whatever level to attain the bigger picture. And I think there's something that comes with that. There's something when you see people come together with one vision, with
That's
one
powerful.
alignment. Yeah.
I used to think about this verse in the Bible when they said, you see, one will chase 1,000 and two will chase 10,000.
Yeah.
I sat and I was like, one will chase 8,000, then two will not chase 2,000, but now it's 10,000.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's mad.
Yeah, we can do so much more when we're together. We can achieve so much more when we can all align. And I think the beauty of it is we can all be different with the same vision and attain the same goal.
Yeah.
And it gives space for differences. Like, I often think of football. The striker and the defender have two different roles,
Yeah.
but there's one goal,
Yeah.
and that is to score or to win the game.
We're We all have different strengths
Yes.
and weaknesses.
And so what makes it beautiful is, oh, I can operate in just myself. Like the way I am, what I bring to the table, you get to do this, you get to do that. And together we get to be part of something that will bring all of us a shared happiness or a shared
I
fulfillment.
heard this stuff is like the best way to get to a goal where like a team of individuals are working towards something is for you to do what's best for you and what's best for you and the group.
Yes.
So everybody will do what's best for them and the group. So
Yeah.
that's the best way to push it
To
forward.
push it forward. Like it's honestly the best place to be, I think. Like when you get to be part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And a lot of times some stuff fall because we don't have anything in our lives bigger than ourselves. And so sometimes we live with such a
That's why we're all searching for meaning and purpose.
exactly, you know, and that search is often found when you understand, oh, I get to be part of something bigger than myself. But when you're always, if everything is just about yourself, the chances of something falling to the ground are so much faster, at least I think.
So I will jump to segment 5 now, which
Yep.
is about comparison, suffering, and modern life. First question is, why does seeing other people's life so often make people feel worse instead of inspired?
Yeah, and I think that's such a good question. Biblically, when it says the comparison is a thief of joy, it's so true. There's nothing that has ruined our society. Like, let me just use Instagram, for instance.
That's it. Instagram is the only place for highlight reels.
You know what I
Flash
mean?
life.
Like, I love Instagram. I use it. We all use it. Yeah, it is. But also the other side of it is it has allowed us to see things that were not possible to see in a lot of different places or different eras of, you know what I mean? So it now looks like, so-and-so is making billions at 21. I'm 28. Surely I've fallen apart. My life sucks. All of these type of things. But we're not even running the same race. We don't even have the same thing.
Different life experiences.
You know what I mean?
Everything is
But
different.
it even goes back to the same idea. But society and the world and maybe our mindset and framework has created a world where that looks like happiness. And now it looks like I'm way ahead of this 21-year-old and I haven't reached it. And now we get discouraged. But we actually we don't know how the person got there, what's happening, what are they doing, why are they doing what they're doing. You know, there's so many reasons as into why things happen. I cannot be looking at someone else's life and thinking, okay, cool, they're in a better place than I do.
Just like say if we all throw our problems in a bowl, you say you'll be very fast to pick yourself.
Yeah, and you'll actually realize like, oh, you have the same problem as me, thank the Lord. You know what I mean? Like it would be better because, and I've seen it sometimes when if I'm on social media too long, I don't even know. There's not even an explanation for it anymore at this point. I just get discouraged because I'm like, flip, I've seen what this could be and I've seen a bit more. I've seen what this could not be and I'm not doing either. So something has to be wrong with me. And that's a dangerous place because now I'm discouraged because I've taken what has nothing to do with me. I've made it all about me. And it's like, now I'm feeling bad. Now I'm sad. Now I'm there. The person who I compared my life to doesn't even know me. You know what I mean? And now I'm sitting there with all of these things with me that now I have to navigate because I looked at this person's life and I envied something that they had or whatnot, you know? And so my mom always says, like, especially when we were young and she was saying, we'd come to her and we'd say, so-and-so bought this and so-and-so bought that. And classic African mom, she was like, you do not know how that person got that thing.
True.
And she would say, be careful who you compare yourself to. And you would hear some strange stories about,
get into that.
yeah, you don't even want to see. And you're like, oh Lord, I thank you that I'm fine just here. Like where I am, I'm good, because I would rather like be where I'm at than be where everyone is at. And you'll only see that sometimes if you speak to someone who you compared yourself to.
So is some level of dissatisfaction actually normal and even healthy?
Yeah, I think so. I think there has to be like I think that's the only way we can get better.
True.
If like there's some level of like
That's the only way we can keep improving ourselves.
yeah, I do think not all things that are dissatisfying are necessarily bad, but I do think if you get like
Too content, you like too much of contentment or complacency can lead to
yeah, I think contentment, when you're content,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's because you understand your reality.
okay.
But when you get complacency, when you get complacent, you're willing to do nothing about it.
Yeah, true.
And so I think it's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like I'm
But
happy,
there's
I'm
still room for
good.
improvement.
Yeah, but there's room for improvement. Like, and so I think like, okay, cool. There is room for us to say I'm not happy about this. I can be better. And so I do think like, yeah, please, we need to keep some room for some.
All right. So why do people feel more restless in a time with more option, comfort, and convenience than ever before?
Because we suck at making decisions.
I feel like it's because it's just like when some people say they want freedom, it's like if we actually give you that freedom, would you know what to do with it?
Yeah.
Just
and
like now we have so many options, so I feel
yeah.
like that's the reason. Because too many options, you'll be like, where do I choose from? Like you don't know what you really want.
And that's the thing. Like I think we like to think that we want freedom, but I don't think we would do well with freedom if we really want. True freedom is not when I have everything. Yeah. True freedom is not, I don't think true freedom is when I can have everything. I
What
think
is
that's
it?
just anarchy. I think true freedom is controlled. I mean, let me use a different word. Maybe controlled is, yeah, I think when you can, there's a quote that I read once, and it's about true freedom is not when like everything is available to me and I can do whatever I want. That's anarchy. True freedom. Oh yes, true freedom actually rests in rules. There are some rules that help. It helps me not knowing that I can just go around shooting whoever I want to shoot. Like, you know what I mean? It helps people.
Yeah.
It helps me knowing that, hey, I cannot just go into a store and take whatever I want to take because I can.
For me, my definition of freedom is being able to do whatever I want with my time. Let's say I wake up in the morning, I want to do this, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
So for me, that's freedom.
And yeah, and that's a level of freedom. Yeah. That's awesome. But I don't think it's doing whatever.
It's
Whatever.
not- yeah. When I mean whatever, I just like I can decide to brush my teeth at 10 a.m.
Yeah, if I
like,
want to. Yeah. That's cool. That is fine. I think there is a level of autonomy that we want to be able to get to where you know, okay, cool, I can handle this and I can handle that and I can handle this when I want to. It's fine.
So this question goes to the point you made earlier. When it comes to happiness, is there a cost to never giving the mind a break in a world of constant online information and stimulation?
Yes. So just explain that question for me.
Is there a cost to never giving your mind a break? It's just like there are some people they can't go a day. It's just like if you have some people, how long have you gone without your phone? It's like they can't go 30 minutes, 1 hour without their phone. So is there a cost when it comes to happiness with this online constant information and stimulation? Is there a cost?
Well, I do think if we continue going the way we're gonna go, we will not be happy in the next few years. Like, I used to get excited the busier I got.
That's true. I it's the same for me. I
Yeah.
I like being occupied. I like doing something.
Yeah, but then someone challenged me, and someone actually said like, Are you busy, or are you actually being effective?
Are you productive or you're just being busy?
So what I was actually doing is I was masking an insecurity, because being busy made me look like I'm being part of something awesome. So I just do the most things. So technically, I was feeding an unhappiness
Oh, I see.
by being busy.
Was it that you were not doing something productive or you were just doing random
No,
stuff?
like I could have been doing. I would just do things, and the minute you take something away, I'd start like, what's wrong with me? Where's my value? Or that, and it's just like, no, bro, you're tired. Like, stop, breathe, take a break. It helps. We will be happier longer if we could do those type of things. And so there was even I was watching a documentary. It was on this whole social media thing. It was I forgot its name, but they said the brain information has grown 1,000,000 times more than the brain has grown.
Yeah. And you know the weakest part of the brain is memory.
And so my brain has remained the same from whenever the Lord created us. But information has grown 1,000,000 times more than our brain can actually handle.
I feel like why most people are unhappy because of this constant information and stimulation is because they can't decipher what's good information and what's bad.
bad. Bro, like in the season, I can wake up and I can see everything from I don't know if you saw that trend of that monkey that was rejected by their family, and they found another toy monkey.
No.
Well, there was a trend. Like, you can go from seeing anything like a trend that's just an awesome, fun trend to someone getting shot online. And I just move with it. But I actually didn't take the time to actually what just happened to my brain? And we just there consuming. But I think these type of things does something to our psyche that hurts us in the long run. So if we don't know when to take a break, how to take a break, we actually never give our body a moment to just breathe.
And sometimes taking a break and coming back gives you a fresh perspective on
Bro,
whatever you're doing.
Like, I love what it says in the Bible when it says that God created the whole world in 7 days. He saw that it was good and he rested. This is a man that does not need to rest, that he does not need to do that. But he said, oh, you know what? I've done what I've needed to do.
Yeah.
I've looked back.
And it's good.
It's good.
It's beautiful.
I'm happy. It's awesome. I think I can chill. And I think rest is not doing nothing. I think rest is just doing something. Sometimes it's just doing something different.
Thinking sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And rest is just allowing the body to just breathe and allowing our minds to take space. But because of this language of, no, I'm chasing happiness. Rest is for the dead. We've found people getting into places where, oh, I'm actually not happy. And then they do something to themselves to do this type of stuff. And that's why we see suicide on the rise. We see loneliness on the rise. Like, we're in the most connected world.
Connected but disconnected.
But loneliness is still the highest problem. And so I don't think it's all because of what am I saying? Like, I think it's because we're just going. We're just doing. We're just looking for things. And I'm the same. Like, I'm not going to sit here and speak as if I'm some guru that has made it.
Sure.
I can also find myself sometimes I'm just going. And it feels better to just go than sit down and address, like, what's actually going on.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to sit down and analyze, process, and just map things out.
Like, for real, I do think there's space for that. It takes time to do that, but it does take an ability to be like, okay, let me just take a break here. And I do thank the Lord for the system of how we have weekends and all that type of stuff. And I do think if we can rest, I think we should. I think it's important for
Rest is very, very necessary.
yeah, I think if rest, it probably increases our happiness. Like,
Productivity as well.
yeah, it makes us come back with a better perspective.
Okay, so let's go down. This is the last
I'm
segment.
speaking to myself. Oh man, this was so good. I'm sad now, but yeah, I'm really sad
Why?
because it's ending. Doesn't mean I'm an
Okay,
unhappy
okay.
person, but
Sixth segment, don't worry. It's going to take a while also to get through this one. So
all right, cool. Yeah.
the first question: to what degree does structure or a routine support mental stability?
So how does structure basically help me?
Because for me, sometimes,
Yeah.
let's say, because so let's say I'm a creature of habits, or let's say in the morning I wake up, I brush my teeth, then I go to the gym. On days I don't do that, it's like something is missing. It's like my entire day is broken in a way. On days I don't do that, like follow that exact routine.
Yeah. I think it helps. I am working on structure right now. So I'm not perfect at it at
So
all.
would you say like is structure the same as a routine, or like, because the question is to what degree does structure or a routine support
Yeah,
mental
routine
stability?
gives me structure.
Okay.
Or let me say a structure includes routine. It just means, okay, cool, like it stops the day from happening to me and I'm happening to the day.
Which
Could-
means you're in charge.
Yeah, because sometimes you can wake up and just like everything's just like. But sometimes when it's like, okay, cool, I'm
You're not
moving.
sleepwalking.
Yeah, I'm moving at a pace of grace. Like I woke up and I did this. All right, and then from this time to this time, this is gonna be awesome for me. From this time to that time, this is gonna be awesome. Or whatever. It does not have to be like that, but some form of structure has helped me. And when I don't have that structure, it feels like things are happening to me all the time, and I'm never ever in control of my time or whatever, of my day. And then I get to the day and you feel like you've been battered, bro. Like, but it's just because things are happening to me. And
So
yeah, and I never got the opportunity to be like, to even say no, to say yes, to say wait. I'm just going. And eventually, bro, like, dude, at what cost am I gonna get there? Even if it means getting to my desired place, but I'm broken, like I'm shattered. You know what I mean?
So how do you like put a routine or structure in place?
I'm trying to find different things and different like spaces and opportunities that work for me. Personally, I think the ideal way that has recently been working for me, the ideal way is actually to wake up and then I just take some time for myself. Like, so no phone, no nothing, no, I don't check whatever I need to check. I'm also not that important that I need to wake up and check like things at like 6 a.m. Like, no, I'm just honest. Like, there are people who need to wake up and like at 5 a.m. they're like
You need
operating.
to check
But
their emails first.
yeah, I'm definitely going into like my kryptonite. I'm going into my social media and stuff. I'll probably check the other emails if there is, but but the ideal morning would be I'd wake up, I have some time just to think, process any thoughts, process any feelings, and then I read my Bible.
Okay.
And then when I read my Bible, it usually informs what I'm praying about. So if I read something that was deeply challenging, or if I read something that was deeply encouraging or whatever, I often take what I read, and then while I'm speaking to the Lord, I'm saying, I read about this and I'm not great at this, but help me, like this is what I do. It helps me have that honest conversation, and then usually after that it makes me feel like I've had a moment to just be with myself in my own
That makes
mind,
sense.
and I'm not waking up with all of these things on my head, but I actually had some time where they fully processed or not, but I've had some time to actually navigate my internal world before I attack my external world.
So for me, I do something very crazy. I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody does it. So
Yeah, I'm
Sometimes-
excited to hear this.
sometimes I plan my day the night before.
I want to get
But
there.
there was this crazy one I do. I started it. I think 2024 I started doing it because I sat down one day and I was like, what did I do 2008? So like 70 by this, I did not know. And I was like, wow, that's very upsetting. So I started whatever I'm doing each day, I write it down like my entire day, the brief, like today,
Oh wow.
April 2nd, I
Yeah.
did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this. So I have the entire log down. So I would go back and see, is there anything I need to structure back? Is there any routes I need to switch? So
That's awesome.
uh,
That's
so that has helped me a lot, and it's crazy.
yeah. Do you know one season of my life? It was the most interesting thing ever. It was the funniest thing ever because I walked into the shop and I bought a coloring book. So now that's a bit strange when you're this adult walking into a store, but I bought an adult coloring book. And I bought like crayons and coloring pencils and all that type of stuff. The cashier is looking at me like, what's going on here? But that in one season was very helpful because in the morning, I'd just take out that book, take out colors, and all I'm doing is I'm just coloring in. It just soothes me to this point where I'm not really thinking, but also all the colors and the way my brain works is stimulating me, and I'm thinking about things. Oh, flip, like, I'm sorry I had to forgive this person. Oh, I reacted a bit interesting here. But like, I'm just coloring in. But it's just giving me a moment to not do anything. That really requires a lot of like mental and physical, emotional capacity. It's just allowing me to just color in this book. And there was a time where like it was cool. Like it was very cool. Yeah.
So I'll go to the second one. Why does feeling in control matter so much for well-being?
For a human being.
Yeah, for well-being.
Oh, for well-being.
Yeah.
It's such an awkward.
Because some people
Yeah.
just live their lives to fate or luck.
Yeah.
I think I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah. I mean, there's a level of responsibility that we need to live with. And I think people are. Well, there's going to be an interesting take, but a lot of people are looking to a lot of things because it removes responsibility from life. So, for instance, I'm going to look into a horoscope because this informs my behavior. Okay, that can make sense. But what if you maybe took some responsibility and just said, you know what, I actually need to work, that I can be a trash of a human sometimes, and I need to take the necessary steps to work on that. No, but I would rather go the easier route because it makes it feel like, well, this informs why I behave like this. You know what I mean? So,
do you actually use, just like they are looking for reasons to justify their actions instead of them trying to like process what they did? If what I did, is it actually good? Was I supposed to react this way?
Yeah, and sometimes when we constantly reactive to things, you're not in control. That means for everything that happens in life, no one can ever know what to receive from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think there's such a immaturity when you respond to situations. Like when life is hot and you're like, yeah, there's a few things happening right now which can cause me to react. And we do react. I'm not saying I'm standing here saying, oh, everything that happens to me, I respond accurately.
Everybody has a breaking point.
Yeah, no, probably every day I'm probably going to react to something. But
Okay.
it makes me go back to be like, oh, I should have responded to this. And then it becomes a teaching point for me. Like, now I ask myself when things are hard, okay, cool, how am I going to respond to this? Okay, how am I going to respond to the day? Because when I use that language, it puts me in a place of intention with my life. Because even with the
Solid.
term control is a bit hard for me as a Christian, because I use the language of I'm not in control of my life. Like, God's in control of my life, and God has given me tools to respond in such a way that gives me control. You know what I mean?
Oh, now
Yeah.
that makes sense. to me.
So he gave me tools in such a way that allows me to be on top of situations and not below it. and not situations happening to me. But I won't get it right, to be honest with you. There's some seasons where some stuff are just overwhelming, to be honest, and it's
True.
just like it's a lot. It's
Sometimes we get bombarded from different directions.
yeah.
It's-
Sometimes you get bombarded, and sometimes you can be really doing all the right things
Yeah.
to be happy, but it just happens to be that life right then is just it's just knocking you out. My decision to respond around that has to be important. I cannot leave that to someone else because sometimes it has everything to do with my internal language. And that means, okay, cool. I need to find a way to quickly be able to get on top of this just so that I can actually maintain my life. I can go over sustainably and I can look back and I was happy about the decisions that I made.
You don't want to put your life in someone's hands.
Exactly. Because, yeah, when we do that, that's when we look back and we said, oh, goodness, I'm not happy about this decision. I'm not happy. But it's because in a moment where we could have actually taken control, we left it to something else.
So still on control routine and daily life. So why do people underestimate the power of consistency over intensity?
That's so good. I think I'm going to speak to consistency and to what I'm learning. I always say what I'm learning because I never arrive. I'm a very interesting human being. But what I'm learning is why consistency builds is actually a term we use in our church. Like when we say, hey, consistency builds. What that means is if you do the same thing at the same time or for a very long time, eventually what you're doing will get better.
Sure.
Or will grow. But if you, no matter how intense you can go at something, if you're not consistent, it doesn't mean it will grow. I'm thinking of a plant for some strange reason. I can pour a bucket of water over that ground. It's not going to,
You
There's
might end up
nothing-
killing the plant.
you might actually kill the plant, which is interesting. But for that plant to grow requires me to come back, pour water at the same time, same place.
It's like the Chinese bamboo tree where you have
And-
to water it for 4 years, 5 years, I think. Then it grows very tall within a week.
Bro. And that is the interesting thing. Like sometimes it's just doing that same thing over and over and over again. Like I remember, practical example, because at our church we do like life groups or connect groups or whatever people want to call it. And the first connect group sucked. There was like one person. You get so discouraged. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I called people or whatever.
Yeah,
Then the
sure.
next time it happened, it was 2 people. Then the next time it happened, went back to 1 person. Then next time it was 3 people. Then next time it went back to 2. One. And now, 2.5 years, I look at it, now it's averaging 20.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Consistency beats everything.
But I was just like, no, we're going to stay at the same thing, doing it at the same time for a very long time. And then it will build and it will get better, like a business, like this podcast. Sam was telling me, like, every week we're shooting for the next week, for the other week, for that other week. You started with how many other views? Today he's telling me a number of some other views, but it's because you stayed at it, just going at it. It's something I need to get better at. Is just doing the same thing
Even when you're not seeing results.
over and over, you're not seeing results. But you have to do it towards something you believe in.
Yeah.
Obviously.
If your why is not strong enough, you will quit.
Yeah, you will quit. Like, you will quit. And so I even have a friend, he has an awesome running club. When it started, it was not like, it wasn't what it is now. But they just went in every Wednesday. They're going to run at this place and at this time. Today, there's hundreds. They basically have taken over a whole area, endorsements, like to the point where it's a full running like organization. And funny enough, the person that done this, he's the person who told me that consistency builds. And that's the only 2 words.
Yeah,
he said.
starting is the easiest part. Sticking to it is the hardest part.
Come on, yeah, there we go. Jermaine, you are saying things, bro.
Yeah, so I'll go to the first question. What happens over time when people stop keeping small promises they made to themselves?
Yeah.
Because I think we as humans, it's hard for us to control ourselves even.
Yeah.
So we say things to ourselves like, even without the awareness of others, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym, but then 6 a.m. I still want to sleep, just lazy heart. So over time, what does that lead to?
Yeah, I think you just that leads to unfulfillment. Like it's just like
Leads to unhappiness.
I could have been better. But there are ways to do that. I think we have to put in routines that help us accomplish that. So I'm often a person who says, discipline helps desire go the distance.
Wow. That's a very lovely one. Discipline helps desire goes the distance.
Because there's no point in being, my desire is to be able to be at the gym every morning at 6:30. But if I'm like, my pure will is not going to help me do that. I need to have a discipline around it. I need to say, okay, cool, for me to do this, I need to be able to wake up at like 5. So I need an alarm. And that means the day before I probably need to go to sleep earlier. Now I'm saying all of this because that's an ideal world. I'm not practicing it at that level of perfection, but it's something I've understood to say, you know what, if I desire something, for this thing to go the distance, I need to have a certain point of discipline, because desire is not enough.
Yeah,
It's not enough. I do need something that helps me go the distance. And usually that means discipline, structure, all of that type of
desire goes the distance. That's
So,
a
yeah.
very good one.
So I think even to the point of why I have structures, because I want to finish my life in a good place. And so I think structure helps me. It helps my mind not fall apart and all that good things. Yeah.
So we've come to the end of the podcast, but still,
No.
there's still a question for you.
You need more.
There's still a question for you though.
Yeah.
We started this, so we'll be doing this at the end of every episode we do. So
Yeah.
So it's like, I want you to imagine yourself, the 8 version, like 8-year-old Marvelous.
Okay. 8 years
He's
ago.
sitting right across. It's me now, so I'm the 8.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So what is the hardest question you would ask that version of yourself?
The hardest question I would ask
So this is me now. So you're facing like.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
just
can-
thinking.
So you can
20, I would have been 21.
So you're asking the 8-year-old version of yourself now.
And the hardest question.
Yeah.
Oh. Where are you going?
Okay, so that's the question now. So the end of the race, right? How would you answer that question as a 28-year-old or whatever you are now? Like you now, you've asked the 8-year-old version of that question. So how would you answer it now? Where are you going?
Take time to understand where you're going. Because I would have asked myself where I'm going, because it would be like, what am I trying to accomplish here? Am I just going for the sake of going? But now I'd actually ask myself like, okay, cool. I would say take the time to actually sit down with yourself and ask yourself the questions. Why?
Why?
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why is this? Why? Because at this place I would have understood a bit more.
That's
like
nice.
where my motivations and intentions for different things came about. Yeah.
All right, so
Very good question.
we've come to the end of it, and I promised a story.
Yeah.
So which I would is the story of the Chinese farmer. Do you know it?
No.
So I would read it. So once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer whose horse ran away. That evening, all the neighbors came around and they were like, "That's so unfortunate." And the farmer said, "Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
If it's good or bad." So the next day, the horse came back with 7 more horses, and the neighbors came again and they gathered. They said, "Wow, that's so great. You're very lucky." And he said, "Maybe we'll see." The next day, his son tried to ride the horse and the horse threw him out and he broke his leg. So the neighbors came again and said, "Wow, that's so fortunate." he said, maybe we'll see. So the next day, the military, they came to
Like where this is
recruit,
going.
they came to recruit people for the army, and they saw that his son had a broken leg, so he was not fit. And they came again like, this is very fortunate for your son. He was not recruited to the army, and he said, maybe we'll see. So the entire moral story of this Chinese farmer story is like, whether something is good or bad, we don't really know the consequences of something that would happen, if it's good or bad, if it will make us happy or not. It's our perspective and how we choose to process that information that actually matters. Just
Yeah.
like a farmer.
Yeah, that's a good one. You must send me that. So that's so good.
It's just like happiness comes to our perspective towards life. So we'll end the day. Happiness comes to our perspective towards life.
I think we need to have a healthy
And
perspective
how we choose to
around,
live our lives.
around happiness, and I think it will make all of us better.
So I want to thank you for your time and your insight. It was very, very lovely. And I thought it would be a long one, and it was.
Thank you, Jermaine.
And-
Your questions. I need to sit with you and ask myself questions.
So to
Yeah.
our listeners, thank you for spending this time with us. And it was really a long one, and it was great with you, Marvelous. Really, really great. And please, you all like, subscribe to IMH Podcast Studio on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. It's very, very necessary. Like, turn on notification. And we really love you guys a lot. And do share this with someone if you have found anything valuable. Just a single thing valuable, share it to someone. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.